Well, hello there guys, this is Kart here, and this video is my first video for the game Apocalyptic Rise of Heroes. And this video is gonna be a short one in which I'm just gonna show my character builds, what my team is, and how exactly I strategized my team on like defeating other players as such. So, well, here you go, that's my profile. Kirishima is my main character that I would like to display. Same goes for my profile picture. It's Kirishima because he's OP and I've always liked him in the manga and the anime as well. Then I just have my All Might Glamour over here because he's my strongest character currently in the account. But anyways, so here I go. My team right now has exactly 20 million power. To be exact, that is the number if you wanna pause the video and see what it is. So right now this is what my All Might Glamour looks like, also called as Glam. You might have heard that before. And anyways, let's begin. He is almost at the highest stars that's possible, which is 12 stars, and all of those require these legendary ability cores and the shards of the same heroes. And apart from that, he's level 110, which is unlocked by the way at level 100, which I recently hit. And let's see his stats right now. The most important stats for All Might would be his crit damage, obviously his attack because he's a main DPS, and also his hit percentage, which basically means how often do you hit an opponent basically. And also the attack bonuses in general help a lot, and the damage bonus, so they're also an important factor for him. So this is how my Glam or All Might Glamour stat looks like. It's not the best you will see out there, not the worst you are going to see out there as well. It's something. Then we have his loyalty. As of now, I have him at the max loyalty that he can be, and each of this loyalty provides me with 8% increase in all the stats, all the base stats, which is attack, physical defense, magic defense, and HP. Physical defense is PDEF, magical defense is MDEF. And I have maxed him out because again, he's my main DPS, he needs that attack, he needs to destroy his opponents as early as possible. And then for the gears, obviously I have the highest quality gears for my Glam. That is the Vambrace 8, Armor 8, Shin Guard 8, and the Boots 8. And for now, I have kept all of these at level 220, even though it can go all the way up to 240, but I had to support some other characters in my team so that I could work around their gears as well and its levels. So I just left it at 220 because after that you can see it takes like quite a lot of resources to do that. Same goes for modification. His current modifications are 20 each, and 20 actually is a good modification in general as of now for my team. I'm definitely aiming for 30s for my Glam and at least 20-24 for my Kirishima. I like to keep these in multiples of 2 because of this extra refining level that we get. Like if it's plus 20 for all the 4 pieces, I get 20% damage bonus and 20% damage reduction. So it's pretty useful. That is his gears. For costume, I have his costume at level 30 because it's worth every cent of mine. But the most important one is level 26 because after that it's just some additional help. Not exactly required most of the times, that's damage reduction and starting rage. It's not like needed, but 26 is a good stopping point for others. Then for chips, I have him at chip X14 or 14, chip 14. It's currently level 0, but it's still something. And for modules, I have the highest quality attack module, which is the rainbow or colorful module. Same goes for the defense module. I have him with the rainbow or the colorful module. For the HP one, I am not lucky enough to get the rainbow module in my shop yet, but if I do, I'm definitely planning on buying that sometime soon. Anyways, for the time being, I just have a red HP module on him. For mentalities, I go for everything that a DPS needs. That is the attack module, hit sorry, I'm so sorry, attack mentality. Now this one is the highest quality mentality. There are other alternatives which are golden ones, but the stats you can see right here, there's a huge difference between them, so I always go for the red one. Then there's legendary hit mentality, which basically increases my hit by 25%. There's this crit damage mentality, which increases by 15 at the red. Otherwise, it increases by, let me just search that real quick, by 6 when it's golden. And for the hit, it increases by 10, whereas it increases 25 for the red one. Then I have the legendary damage bonus, which increases my damage by 15. It increases my damage bonus by 6% if it's golden. That is also recommended. And then something that is really important on my glam would be the Tyrant Resolve. This is only a red mentality, which basically makes you immune to vertigo, silence, or paralysis. In other terms, numb, silenced, or stun. These are the three most common CC, also called as crowd controlling talents that other characters have, which basically does this. Numb doesn't allow your character to do normal attacks, but if the character already has enough rage, he can always do his ultimate. Silence does not allow the character to have, doesn't allow the character to use his ultimate ability. But if the character does not have enough rage, he could do his normal attack. Now, stun over there is the best one out there. It doesn't allow the character to move at all or regenerate rage in his turn. Others can still give him rage, or her range. But in general, yeah, stun does not allow you to do either normal attack or your ultimate, so this is pretty important because if I get stunned, numbed, or silenced in the first round, it's gonna be really impactful for my character or my glam, because again, he has a lot of boosts that he gets in the first round. Apart from that, we have the legendary Crushing Strength, which basically destroys any invincible shield that the opponents have. Something like what All For One can get when he does his ultimate. He gets this super invincible shield, in which he does not take any damage. Same goes for Momo Yaoyorozu. She provides the entire team with a 60% chance of invincible shield, and Glam can just crush through that and like break that shield easily. So that is why I keep this one, in case there's someone faster than me and he uses Momo as a starter, then the shields will always defend them. So that is why I use this. And then the others are just like yellow mentalities. I have changed this one for the time being. I can show back that thing real quick. This is just the crit damage one which I showed you. And then this is just the crit rate one. Legendary crit rate, which gives me 25% crit rate. When it's golden, it gives me 10% crit rate, which is still something, but not as good as the red mentality. For crystals, I only go for crit damage ones, which are the Courage Transistor. So Courage Transistor basically increases my crit damage by 9%, and when the enemy has over 70% HP, it increases my damage bonus by 40%, which is a huge damage increase. And the main stats that I have actually gone for are crit damage, damage bonus. These are the ones that I have mainly focused on. Something other than just those that I actually focus on is attack bonus. I do not like this MDef bonus or magic defense bonus here, because it's not needed on my glam. I could probably get that switched for something else sometime soon. And over here I have also tried getting some crit rate and hit rate. So hit rate is basically, again, as I mentioned before, the chance of how often your character hits the opponent character. And it's pretty needed in glam, because if the opponent dodges, I'm kind of screwed. So as I was talking about this mentality right here, the first round one, if you see, my chip in the first round gives me 45% damage bonus. So that damage bonus will completely go useless if that mentality was not there. So that is my All Might. He has approximately 7.5 million battle power. Now we come up to Kirishima. Kirishima has quite a lot of battle power as well. I have made him overpowered right after my glam. As you can see, his HP, attack, PDEF and MDEF, they just come right after glams. So something that I've focused mainly on for my Kirishima is his HP, defense, like both the type of defenses, but P defense is more specifically focused on, and I'll give an explanation to why that is. For loyalty, I have kept him at 2 because again, my Glam's loyalty was 5, which takes up a lot of resources, so the highest I could get on my Kirishima was only 2. And I can farm for more of these loyalty coins, but I'll do that later in future. For the gears for the time being, I have his armor, which gives me P defense at the max level 240, and then his boots, which gives him HP at level 200. Because again, those two are the most important stats Kirishima needs. Then the other two, that is the Vambrace and the Shin Guard, I have left them at 160 or 150, whatever that is, 160, because of the bonus that I get for enhancing level 160. As you can see, I get some extra attack, defense, HP, and all those extra benefits that I'm going for. And for his costume, I have it level 30, but what I would suggest mostly is level 28 is a good stopping point. If you do not get enough resources, 22 is also a great stopping point, but the damage reduction given at 28 is really useful. 30 is not recommended if you do not have enough resources, but you could definitely go for 30. For the chip as of now, I'm going for the Ox chip, that is what it's called. It's called as the Ox Heal chip, which basically reduces the damage taken, and after a damage is taken, it restores 20% of the damage dealt. Now I have it level 10, which restores 30% of the damage that I have dealt. And yeah, it's pretty useful on my Kirishima. And for the embeds, I have him at the highest level of defense. Again, because he has to survive the longest. He doesn't need that much of attack, so I have left it at red. For the HP one, I haven't been lucky enough to get a colorful or rainbow HP module, but once I get it, I'm probably gonna be putting it on Kirishima so that he can survive longer. Then for the mentalities, his are the exact opposite from what Glam has. He has HP, which gives him 56,000 HP. Now don't forget, for Kirishima, I forgot to mention this, he has quite a lot of HP bonus, like 300%. So that 50,000 HP right there, including this 300%, would probably go for 150,000 HP if you think about it. It becomes 3 times what is being given, or like whatever HP he gets. And apart from just that, I have mainly focused on P defense, M defense, and HP. Here you can see P defense bonus is gonna be 191, M defense bonus is gonna be 192%. And another thing that I focused on is the damage reduction and crit reduction. Crit resistance is also something we could go for, but I usually don't select that one, or like go for that one mostly, because it's just bad for him, and I can explain that real quick. Damage reduction is whatever damage he takes, this much of the damage is reduced. Now this factor right here can get cancelled out. What do I mean by getting cancelled out? Here you can see my Glam has a damage bonus of 193.5%. So that 193.5% will get reduced by 161.45, and then my Glam, if he was attacking my own Kirishima, he would only be dealing 30% damage bonus. And same goes for crit reduction. I have 47.1, whereas for my Glam I have 76.7 crit damage. So basically that 76 point whatever the number was gets reduced by 47.1, and then whatever is the leftover is dealt as the damage. Crit resistance basically means what are the odds of Kirishima not getting a crit hit. Now I don't like this personally for a specific reason which I'll explain sometime soon, so I could explain that real quick actually. For the mentalities, the other one that I have is the legendary defense one, which increases my P defense and M defense by whatever amount that's shown. Then I have a crit reduction one, which basically reduces the crit damage that I have taken. If you see right here, crit damage reduction. Same goes for damage reduction. I have added some dodge onto him so that he can dodge some attacks here and there, so that he can easily not take damage and survive the longest. Then I also have this one, which is basically a healing mentality. It heals 18% of the skill damage dealt into your health. This does not heal the other teammates that you have, so it's unlike the chip 9 if you know about it. I could explain that in some other video. And apart from that, I have two golden ones, which is just crit damage reduction and defense one, because again, those are the most important ones. For his transistors, I have him focused on the tenacious transistor, which basically gives me 20% HP bonus. And the best quality of this, are best, what do I say? The best possible resonance effect, fine, I'll just call it resonance effect, of this is if you're hit by a crit damage, or like if you get hit by a crit shot, you recover 60% of the damage dealt. So basically, if I had a lot of crit resistance on my Kirishima, sorry, if I had a lot of crit resistance, then my Kirishima never gets hit with a crit shot, and then he takes a lot more damage and does not heal for that 60%. Whereas if you see, my Glam right here has 156% crit rate, so he'll always crit my Kirishima, making him heal 60% of the damage taken, always. And the substats that I mostly aim for is crit reduction, P defense bonus, HP bonus. M defense is decent. It's not like something that I completely dislike. It's good for other opponents, but I wouldn't recommend that. Apart from just that, there's damage reduction, and if you can see, HP bonus. I'm gonna probably be switching the second one, so that's why it's under leveled. If you can see, it's only 11 right now. And for my Tenacious 1, I have crit resistance, crit dodge, and MDef. So this is completely bad. I'm probably gonna be changing it with something else, which is currently under leveled, but it's already on my one of my characters. I think it's gonna be either one of these. Yeah, I think it's gonna be someone in those. Forget that part for now. And apart from those characters in general, apart from Kirishima and Glam, I just have some support buffers, which basically buff my damage. For example, we have Tetsu over here. His best part is in his second star and his fourth star. The second star gives me damage reduction by 15%, and the fourth star gives me damage bonus by 15%, which is insane. And that's why I have him. And his costume at level 10 reduces the attacker's rage by 1 point. So if Tetsu's alive and someone hits him, he's probably gonna be getting a rage extra from my chip, which I'll come back to later. And he'll also be reducing their rage. So he's really useful in general itself. And then let's go for his loyalty. It's at 0 because again, I have all my loyalty points focused on my main DPS and my main tank. And his gears are the red gears again, and I have leveled them up, not completely, but somewhat suboptimal, to just like survive the opponents, and if he's lucky enough he can survive them. I got his costume to level 30, but I don't recommend that because I had the resources to get him to level 30, but otherwise I would say 10 is a good stopping point. If you want to go for 12, that's also great, but if you're actually good in materials and resources, you could definitely aim for 28 or 22. They're also pretty good. Apart from that mentality, I just have him on random mentalities completely. This is a new one which you might not have seen, which basically goes like non-lethal damage taken is split evenly between two friendly heroes with the highest HP. What this means is, if my Tetsu is hit by an opponent and he does not die, in that case, whatever damage is taken, a third of that damage is given to my Tetsu, and the rest 2/3 are separated equally. That is 1/3 to my highest HP character and 1/3 to the second highest HP character. So that's how this goes. Apart from that, for crystals, I have him on HP bonus the same as Kirishima. For the time being, I have it under leveled, as you can see, but I'm planning on leveling these up once I'm done with the transistors of Kirishima and Glam to level 20 or at least 15. Alright, apart from Tetsu, we have Tokoyami, Fumikage Tokoyami. His best part of the entire stars is his 6th star, which gives an aura that gives 20% crit damage to all my heroes. Now, as I showed you, my Glam was the main DPS, and he needs crit damage because you saw that 156% crit rate. So if he hits that crit shot, he needs his crit damage to be increased by a lot. That is why I use Tokoyami mainly. And then again, his costume gives everyone crit rate by 20%. So he's just insane overall. Loyalty, 0 again. Gears, it's just something that I have put up for the sake of it. His costume needs to be level 10. I had a lot of resources, so I got it to 20 and I stopped because of that rage. For Chip, I have him on Chip 11, which is pretty good because it gives a lot of crit rate to the character and crit damage, which overall enhances my Tokoyami to be pretty good and solid. As you can see, 115 crit rate and 81.2 crit damage, which is insane to be honest. For Mentality, again, he just has some random ones over here. This is something that you might want to have a look at. This basically is the Super Aura Mentality. This can be equipped on a male character and only one in your entire team. And in this way, whenever a female hero with its exact opposite mentality, which is called as the Hero Aura Mentality, I can show you an example real quick. Whenever that hero attacks, he's gonna get a rage, and whenever he attacks, the other hero, which is a lady, is gonna get the rage. For crystals, I go for the Fury Transistor, and that basically increases attack by 15%, which I'm not interested in. But what I'm interested in is actually after the skill or the ultimate is hit, there's 20% chance to cast an entire skill again without consuming the rage. So it's pretty insane. And again, these are just some extra pieces that I had, so I just put it on him. After him, it's Mina. The only reason I use her is again for her costume, which gives me damage bonus of 15%. She's pretty good. Loyalty 0. Gear, it's completely random as you can see. Same goes for the chip. I have the healing chip on her, chip 9, which I mentioned quite some time back. So that's her. And then her costume level 10. Mentality, she just has everything randomized. And for the transistors, she also has the attack bonus or the Fury Transistor with completely random substats because again, she's not my DPS, she's just a buffer and support. After Mina, we have Mineta, and the reason that I use him is for two things. One, his 6th star, since he's an A character, it's easy to get his 6 stars, it's pretty useful. His 6th star gives us 20% crit rate, which is insane, just like Tokoyami. And his costume, in fact, gives us 20% attack bonus. And as you remember, my Glam needs 3 main substats. That is crit damage bonus, and attack bonus. So this is one of the 3. So I definitely use Mineta for those reasons. Loyalty 0, gears are randomized. Probably don't even have enough. Mentalities randomized. Crystal, I have kept him with crit damage 1, which is the same courage transistor. These are just some extra ones that I had before that I used on my Glam. Now, since they have converted into rainbow colorful one, which is the stronger one, I just keep the extras on my other support characters. Then these are just some other characters that I have right here, and their stars. If you want to just like pause the video and see like what star level they are at, that's completely fine. So yeah, any honorable mentions? I would say Nezu is pretty good in general. I keep him more HP and defense oriented. Right now he's not built, as you can see, no gears or anything. I like his costume at 20 because it gives him that starting rage. I was thinking of getting it to 30, but then I had some other priorities in costume itself, so kind of delayed that process. For Mentality, he just has the starting rage and something random, so that's fine. I mean, I think I already explained this one. For crystals, he has the Wisdom Transistor, which increases the defense, which is pretty useful on Nezu because we don't want him to die. And basically what it does is it increases his rage by 1. It has an 80% chance to recover 1 rage whenever Nezu stuns, numbs, or silences an enemy. Now, if you don't know, his ultimate basically has 15% chance to silence, numb, and stun the enemies. If you get the stars up, you can easily get it up to 35% for all the 3 at 6 stars. And he's pretty good. in general for crowd control. Then I have Momo over here. She's my perfect shielder whenever I need shield against strong enemies. Her ultimate grants 30% chance to give a super shield, which is invincible and converting a percentage of the damage received into HP. What this does is, she makes a shield on all my characters, 30% chance actually, not all my characters, but there's a 30% chance that she can give super shield to all my teammates, and whenever they are hit, they just heal for that damage rather than taking any damage at all. So it's basically negative damage that the opponent deals. And if you start her up, the percentage just increases up to 60%, which is pretty reliable. She's still pretty good in the meta for player versus enemy or like chapters, heroic journey stuff, a hero tower and stuff. But apart from that, for player versus player and like UA peak and stuff, it's not that recommended by me, but we can talk about that sometime soon. And apart from that, her gear, nothing for the time being. I left her a costume at 28, but then I think I had to sell 2 of her costumes to merge into some other costume. But again, 28 or 30 is the best place, to be honest, because she needs that starting rage. So yeah, 30 is a good place to start with. Then her mentality, I think it's just randomized right now. And crystals, it should be the same as what Kirishima has, tenacious if you can see, but her set is not complete because I'm not using her right now. Present Mike is also a pretty useful character in general. So his ultimate has 30% chance to numb all the enemies. If you start him up to 6, it goes all the way up to 75%, and it also reduces the rage by 1. It has a 30% chance, even though I've seen it proc like quite a lot. It doesn't feel like 30%. Apart from that, he's also not built completely. Ibarra is the new character which can stun the opponents pretty good. There's a 20% chance to stun all enemies, but if you start her up to just the 2nd star, it increases to 50%, which is quite a lot, because if you think about it, Nizu only has 35%. So Ibarra is kind of better than Nizu, and her 4-star is even better. It reduces the rage by 1. The 6-star is not that useful, because again, she's not damage focused, but otherwise she's pretty good. And she has the same crystal as what Nezu has. I don't have them leveled up because I'm not using her for the time being. And no gears, no loyalty. Apart from just them, the best character that I feel there is currently is gonna be Shigaraki. His ultimate basically deals 100% magic damage to all the enemies, and this 100% will be added on to a true damage, which is basically 10% of the target's max HP. So if the target out there has 6 million HP, it will deal 600,000 extra damage in one ultimate for that character. So it's pretty good. Tomura is pretty good in general, and when you start him up, there's a 20% chance to recast another ultimate, and 4-star is gonna be 40% chance to. So it's pretty good because it's insane. It's really insane, to be honest. When you see his chains, it's pretty fun to watch it. Watch the enemies just like die in seconds. Apart from just that, his 6-star, which is the cherry on the top of the cake, is gonna be whenever he hits a target with a crit shot, he reduces their rage by 2. This out there is the best 6-star that I have ever seen, because here if you start up with Tomura and he crits everyone, which I'll explain in a second, is pretty easy. He can crit everyone pretty easily. If he crits, in that case the rage goes down by 2 for everyone. And if you see his costume right here at 10-star, or sorry, at level 10, it gets you 25%, 35% crit damage, matter of fact. So that's insane. That's why Tomura is really good in player versus enemy like Hero Tower or Heroic Journey and stuff like that. So I definitely recommend his 6-star, and then you can use the other shards that you get for Tomura into merging for your glam if you want to star him up. So yeah, he's pretty good. And then he's currently unbuilt, but there's his build, no transistors, that's fine. So yeah, and I'll show a quick working of how my team works. I'll show it again. The strongest player that is in my server So here you go. The game starts like this. He's faster than me right now, if you can see, and that's my speed. This is my team, this is their team. So here their glam starts first in a second. I should probably. So yeah, their glam starts first, and then they go on killing all my support characters, because again, they're not my damage dealers. They can die, it's completely fine. He takes on all my supports, all 4 of them are gone. Now right here, Kirishima tanks all the damage that is being given to him. As you can see, that is exactly why I have kept him on tank mode, and that tenacious. And now my glam, since if you remember, I put every resource that I have into him, he just keeps on breaking everyone that the opponent has. And if I forgot to mention, glam has the ability to chain his attacks. And no matter how strong his Kirishima is, my glam is overpowered and it always kills his Kirishima. And at the end of the fight, you can see my Kirishima survived. At the end, my Kirishima survived and my glam killed everyone out there. Oops, sorry. And my glam did 83 million damage and took 19 million damage. My Kirishima did... This damage right here was not dealt by Kirishima, but rather it was a reflected damage, which I'll explain in just a quick second. But he took 17 million damage and healed 13 million out of it. Now that was mostly thankful to the tenacious transistor that we had. If you remember, 60% healing on crit shots, and the opponent hit crit damage. So he overall deflected all that damage. So what glam does basically is, in his ultimate, he hits one opponent for 350% physical damage. 350% is a huge scaling, to be honest. But to put the cherry on top of that cake, literally, he also adds on to that damage with 30% of the target's max HP. And basically what that means is, if your glam is hitting 1 million damage to an opponent who has 6 million HP, there's 1.8 million HP that you will add on, or not HP, attack or damage you will add on to that 1 million. So his damage in general is insane. And as you start him up at 2 stars, when you cast an ultimate, you go back to your normal attack and hit once. When you kill a target with your ultimate, it just continues that ultimate again, but with a lower scaling, if you remember. Come on. At 6 stars, basically he enters a tenacious state, which basically makes him completely non-killable, and like he's immune to death, so he just doesn't die. For Kirishima, his ultimate is basically he restores 10% of the max HP that when he does his ultimate, but his stars are the most effective ones. Kirishima deflects 20% of the damage taken back to the attacker and restores 30% of the damage reflected. So basically, if glam hits my Kirishima for 6 million, or let's say 6 million damage, that's 6 millions, 1.2 million will be hit back to that glam, and I will restore 30% of it, of that 6 million. Now, if you don't forget, the tenacious also gives me 60% healing. So I currently have over 100% healing with the chip, transistor, and his current stats. At 2 star, the reflection becomes 50% and then 80% of reflection of damage. So if someone hits me for 6 million damage, I reflect back 4,800,000. So that's insane. That's why Kirishima is a god. So yeah, that was my entire team and how things have... And how I place my lineup is like this, right here. Glam starts up, Kirishima takes all the damage, then I have Tokoyami to boost in general. And the other characters are just lying there for their aura or like their sub damage increasing. And yeah, that was just my account. I hope you liked it. Alright, so one thing that I forgot to mention, and so I'm recording this again, just the end part, is that basically I will be starting this YouTube channel to explain all the functionalities of this game and also how different characters work, and also be testing out different characters. And yeah, trying to help out you guys as much as I can, giving some also battle replays, which can help you understand how my team works and stuff like that. So yeah, that's definitely what my channel will be for, and I hope you enjoy and like it. Thank you.